Britain's not broke because of money. It's broke because of spirit. You can feel it in the atmosphere. Everybody's chasing money, everyone's chasing likes, but nobody's chasing meaning. It used to be faith, tradition, even empire. Now all that's gone, and all we got now is shopping centers and headlines. There's a common joke of how there's nothing to do in certain cities. Like, I've seen it about Birmingham, and there's nothing to do in the UK in general. Have you noticed that? It's true, there really isn't anything. They feed our hunger, but they starve our souls. They take our attention, our insecurities, our desires, and they flip it for profit. You can gamble your rent on every street corner. You can scroll yourself numb all night. That's legal, that's encouraged. But try to find peace, try to live clean, that costs. That's locked away. Anything that heals is too expensive. Anything that frees you is illegal. That's the trap. They let us do everything that kills us and block the door to everything that could save us. We've got kids who don't believe in a future, elders who don't believe in a past, leaders who don't believe in anything but themselves. That's spiritual bankruptcy. The country's still alive, but the soul's on life support. I know these videos have an air of negativity to them, but I see it every day. I just witnessed a terrorist attack happen right before my eyes a few hours ago. So anyone comments, you're too focused on the negativity, you're too focused on the yeah, because I see fucking terrorist attacks in front of my face. This isn't coming from a place of chronically online Twitter anxiety. When it's happening right in front of me, it's on our doorstep. I'm just trying to chill, I'm trying to have a good time. Why am I walking and I see a bomb disposal van going past? Why do I see 10 different police vans? We're meant to be safe, guys. Britain's supposed to be a safe country. You're supposed to be in a first world and you should feel safe to walk around. Safe to use public transport. Why do I not feel safe? So it pisses me off whenever people talk about how you're only on about the doom and gloom in the UK. Yeah, of course, because I see doom and gloom on a daily basis. Friedrich Nietzsche, the German philosopher, said, God is dead, God remains dead, and we have killed him. How shall we comfort ourselves, the murderers of all murderers? What was holiest and mightiest of all that the world has yet owned has bled to death under our knives. Who will wipe this blood off of us? What water is there for us to clean ourselves? What festivals of atonement? What sacred games shall we have to invent? Is not the greatness of this deed too great for us? Must we ourselves not become gods simply to appear worthy of it? Britain has lost a lot of things. The far right would say it's national identity. The left would say the equality of opportunity. But the core root of all of this is the loss of God. Everything in life revolves around God. Everything starts at the creator. If you're not able to source everything from him, everything has its downfall. Everything plateaus. A society filled with sin. You have gambling stores in every street. You have nightclubs, immodest clothing. I was walking the other day and I saw a woman throwing up on the side of the street wearing a tight dress in a freezing cold. Is this a normal occurrence in a healthy society? I don't see anything fun about what she's doing. It looks like hell. The people are spiritually dead. I see crack fiends walking around like zombies. Families are dysfunctional. We're treating our women like shit. Misogyny's on a rise. Misandry's on a rise too. Britain's becoming a low trust society. It's all done by design. There's LGBTQ, which is a whole nother video that I can make. I don't really want to say too much about that right now because I don't think that LGBTQ is the biggest enemy or anything like that. They're not that much of a threat right now. My critiques of the West may be seen as radical, but I feel like we live in a radical society. The people are radically dysfunctional. Our minds have been fried by retarded shit. We're growing up in a completely different world. You have young people who don't have parents. You have dysfunction everywhere. So we need to adapt to this. We can see exactly how things play out, which culture is superior to which by looking at the results. The West produces an inferior quality of life on every metric. It's a failure of a society. The right are gonna blame this on the Jews and the immigrants. The left are gonna blame it on the rich. I've seen a video by a far right commentator talking about how Muslims aren't the real issue and how the real enemies are the elites who bring the Muslims into the country, which is a lot more accurate. It's kind of wrong as well. You guys know why it's wrong, because Muslims aren't a problem in the first place, but I kind of get their point, right? They're saying Tommy Robinson is not your friend. He's a Zionist agent. None of the protests the far right have done with Tommy have actually achieved anything. It's just a bunch of people getting together, walking around, going home. Then you forget all about it and it just makes Tommy richer. The real true activism comes from within. It comes from the pen and paper, not a bunch of working class plumbers and electricians marching the streets. The far-right rebellion against the government is neutered. It's these guys on Twitter sharing clips of Muslims littering the streets. Tommy Robinson isn't even a Christian. How could you trust someone who isn't a man of God, who isn't primarily motivated by God, who will always end up being tempted by the money? And now we see how Israel's got him. And to the Muslims, we're not seen as humans by these people. Let's not kid ourselves. We're seen as criminals, rapists. We're seen as backwards, uncivilized dogs. I'm 23. I shouldn't be telling people this shit. This should be for the older guys to tell people. I should be living my life, having fun, studying, but here I am telling people exactly what they need to hear. Because I find society doesn't have realness anymore. All these right-wing guys, they're coming on here with the same bored talking points about immigrants taking our jobs, and the British nationalist guys constantly crying about stupid, irrelevant shit that makes no sense. You guys did this to yourself. The current Western society is a direct result of your own ignorance. It bothers me that I have to sidestep my youth to stand up and do some shit that someone else has to do. There's too many men out here for me to do this. It isn't my turn yet. I should be behind someone else following them. I shouldn't be the leader, but I know the people need help. Westerners know their society is immoral, wicked. It's run by criminals. It has a history of violence and purging the entire world of resources. The police are the biggest gang, and they're coming to your house cutting you down for criticizing them. You're getting sent away, and I'm tired. I feel like I've lived a whole life and I'm only 23. The things that I see on a day-to-day basis, the things that have been dealt towards me are filling me with so much rage and anger that will never die down. And there's a whole genocide going on. We don't have time for anything except war. They're gonna have us marching over the same shit for years. We're still marching over the same shit that we marched over 20 years ago. We're all by ourselves. The world just has to watch kids get obliterated to pieces. And it pisses me off every time I see it. But like I said, it's all by design. I love those who love me. I find that I get along with everyone. People love me. And I love anyone, regardless of their race, background, ethnicity, religion, but they must treat my ideological preferences with the same respect that they love their Western, modern, secular values as well. They must respect my Sharia law in the same way that they respect their human rights. They must respect my love for God in the same way that they love consumerism. The Overton window has been shifting, and you have people publicly hating on the Jews now. The youth are becoming more and more far right as a shift to the other side from how it was 10 years ago when everyone was far left. Immigration is the hottest topic now. There's debate about it everywhere, along with unemployment and cost of living. A topic I want to talk on is adultery. I like to explore topics that are uncommon. I don't want to constantly talk about immigrants or constantly talk about the LGBTQ. There's thousands of videos on that right now. I'll talk on adultery here. Everyone's cheating in this generation. People go as far as not even to get into relationships anymore. They're having situationships. There's a death of pair bonding. Everyone's so ran through and spiritually numb now. Imagine meeting the love of your life and all you can see them as is basically a classmate or a co-worker. People fear true intimacy. People fear letting people in. We have this hyper-individualist, capitalist culture. The West glorifies narcissism and being self-serving. Islam focuses on a balance between productivity, downtime, family time, and purity. Society is fundamentally broken down to the first step, down to Adam and Eve. The family unit has been destroyed. In the UK, a survey reported that about 1 in 5 adults admit to having an affair. That's insane to me. Everyone's cheating now. In a US survey, 31% of affairs reportedly involved co-workers. The genders mix in the workplace. You have work wives and work husbands, and everyone just accepts all of it like it's normal. To me, it's severe mental illness. Anything that isn't strong, lifelong monogamy is dysfunction. Of course, divorce has to happen, and it's fine to break up if you fall out of love with a person or you discover there's someone they're not. But that's an entirely different conversation to cheating. If you don't like someone, just leave them. Don't go telling lies, doing all this stupid shit and being extra. I find the Western world, a lot of people love to waste time. Everyone's just wasting time now. People love to lead each other on. They don't really like being real. There's no authenticity in this place. It's just a hellscape where you're forced to put on this fake smile and act like everything's okay when it really isn't. Life in the West is a humiliation ritual. You can kind of get away with it by being a Muslim and avoiding a fitna, avoid degeneracy and corruption, forming your own pocket within your own little community, spending big in local small businesses. Whether you're black or whether you're Muslim, Sikh, whatever, you gotta fight back. And I say this in every video, people always tell me it's not so black and white, the East isn't perfect, and every time I hear that, I just facepalm. It's such a dumb thing to say, it's so retarded. Whenever someone tells you you're generalizing about a certain segment of the population, like if you say women do this and then someone pops up, some dickhead says, oh, I know a woman that does this though, so you're wrong. Like, just shut up, you dickhead. Who asked you to speak? It's such a low IQ, retarded kind of thing to say. People think they're being smart and refuting by giving this one case. Sharia law stones adulterers to death. There is no 1 in 5 people cheating statistic in a real Muslim country. I do personally believe prevention is better than cure. If someone wants to get caught stealing, then they deserve to get their hand chopped off. If someone's caught doing zina, which is adultery, by the way, they get stoned to death. This is necessary in a society. We can't rely on everyone to just have impulse control and be good people. Pick 5 random guys out of a hat, just 5 random UK people. Like, just pick 5 people off the street, 5 names out of a hat. You'll most likely just end up with a bunch of rapists or some sort of low-life degenerate with no real comprehension of higher thought. I feel like 90% of the population are just brainless drones. They don't know what day of the week it is. They don't know what to do. They don't know nothing except base bodily instincts. There's a deterrence from being a bad person in Sharia law. Like I say, prevention is better than cure. Encouraging God in the schools, having God play in the streets, involving God in your relationships has to happen. Otherwise, they're all just going to become Batman. You're going to see yourself turn into a Batman. Next thing you know, your kids are on Reddit talking about nihilism. We're all going to have bugs for dinner. It's all just peak. It's over. Yeah, overall, the families in the East are more stable and the people are happier. You could say life's economically better in the West, but the people are all struggling to afford housing. They're struggling to afford the car insurance. It's expensive. And the UK are rolling out the mark of the beast, by the way. Digital IDs are here now. You man are getting biblically branded and you man want to defend the UK like it's some sort of god. Even though a country like Sweden is so prosperous on paper, the people are basically enslaved and have no freedom. The British people have handed in their freedom in exchange for comfort. You never get freedom given to you. You always have to fight for it. Throughout history, this has always been the case. In ancient Rome, for instance, a group of Germanic women, upon being captured, told Emperor Caracalla that they would rather die than be enslaved. When he ordered them sold anyway, they committed suicide en masse, some of them first killing their children. This act of defiance underscores the long-standing cultural resistance to enslavement. This mentality of I'd rather die than be enslaved needs to make its resurgence. It needs to come back fast, or else we have no hope. Consumerism is a replacement for religion. Britain has basically replaced shared ritual with shared consumption. Supermarkets as cathedrals, football chants as hymns, Amazon Prime as Providence. The Sunday service is now a visit to retail parks or scrolling TikTok. Spiritual bankruptcy is not absence of belief, it's misplaced belief. Britain used to walk with a crown on its head and a Bible in its hand. Empire, church bells, a flag that meant something. Even if it was built on blood, it was still a story people could believe in. And now what have we got? A bitter old man talking circles about Brexit. Arguments on TV talking about culture wars and immigration, like that's all a nation is. Britain don't stand for nothing no more. It's an empty shell, loud but hollow. God is dead here, the spirit's gone. Rome rose up because it had myths, legends, stories that gave people fire. What stories does Britain tell now? TikTok trends, reality shows, angry headlines that disappear tomorrow? A nation without a story is a nation without a soul. And that's where we are, drifting, bitter, remembering the past but too lost to write the future. The culture is completely hollowed out. It's corporatized. Everyone's basically gonna live in some council estate sponsored by Amazon. The English countryside used to be beautiful. It used to breathe with spiritual imagination. Now the land is stripped of its quality. Villages become Airbnb rentals. Hills become backdrops for Amazon. Rivers become polluted by water companies. The British suburbs are ugly. They're grey. The sky is grey. There's chemtrails everywhere. It just looks clapped. And Ted Kaczynski would have been filled with rage. Britain didn't become secular, it invented replacement religions. Political activism, climate marches, football fandom, even conspiracy cultures all function as a form of worship. But these religions lack transcendence. They're too human focused with no higher horizon. The Church of England itself mirrors this drift. It was once a thunderous institution, now it's managerial, polite, it's almost embarrassed to speak of eternity. Humans crave transcendence, and Britain offers bureaucracy. Spiritual societies structure time with meaning. Holy days, festivals, seasonal rituals, life milestones, they create a rhythm between work, rest, and transcendence. Britain has collapsed into a 24/7 churn, no sacred pauses, just endless economic time. Sunday is not holy, it's just shopping hours. Christmas is not mystical, it's just commercial. When every day is flattened into the same consumer cycle, nothing feels sacred anymore. Britain's spiritual void is haunted. The empire, industrial exploitation, colonial wealth, none of this has been mythologized into story, ritual, or atonement. Instead, Britain oscillates between denial and guilt. The ghosts linger because they were never integrated. Statues are argued over, not reinterpreted. Museums display loot without meaning. The past stalks the present because the nation has no ritual language to transform wounds into wisdom. The crisis of Britain is not just economic or political, it is metaphysical. It's not about GDP, migration statistics, or elections. It's about meaning. This is why focusing so hardly on the numbers and statistics is so retarded. It's like, cool, the numbers are going up, but people are still killing themselves. The GDP is going up, but people are still poorer than ever. The money isn't even going into the pockets of the average man. The average man's been rendered completely worthless. You can't build a future on shopping bags and broken promises. You can't feed a nation's soul with reality shows and empty slogans. Britain's still here on a map, still here in the history books. But history don't mean nothing if you don't carry it with pride, if you don't turn it into wisdom. Right now, this island's just surviving, breathing, but it's not living. Working but not creating. Talking but not believing. That's what bankruptcy feels like. When the account's not in the bank, it's in the spirit. And until Britain finds something deeper to latch onto, other than the borders or the money or the hate and the nostalgia, the fire will just stay out and no one will make no progress in anything. We need to fix the root cause at its root, and that's with God. We need to bring God back.